think I need to work with the assumption that I'll probably drop it at some stage.
I'm new to adventure riding, so I'm taking RideADV's intro to adventure riding, and this is day 2. Day 1 saw us heading through the Watagans along some muddy trails to build skills riding on low grip surfaces. Entering this weekend as a road rider, I'm making a significant shift in both my mindset and technical experience to riding off-road.
How am I still upright after that?
Greg Yager and the team stopped along the way to share extensive knowledge in the sport. Today we're heading back to Sydney from Singleton, and while I learnt so much already, today's going to throw some more challenges in to overcome.
Alright, here we go, day 2. Ooh, where are we going, Greg?
Plan is we're going to leave here, going to go out in towards town. We're going to jump across the river, follow the river up to Branxton. A little bit of flip and flopping, and we'll work our way in around the back of Cessnock, and eventually we'll get to Wollombi. We'll go to the back of Wollombi. There's a series of causeways we want to cover, talk about causeways. These causeways are a lot like wooden bridges. Into Laguna, where we'll probably have lunch. Now I need to grab some fuel. We'll go up Murray's Run, back up to Jerry's, and then down through River State Forest and back home. So that almost has you the whole route, Steve.
Yeah, Max said if I don't finish today, he's going to divorce me as a father.
Steve's famous for not quite getting the whole way, but today's we've got 100% commitment, so you heard it all, right?
Today the big difference I've gone with is just not bothering to try and stay dry. Yesterday I basically ran the wet weather on the outside when it was raining, but I had the internal wet weather layer on the inside as well, and it stopped me from getting rained on, but I was completely and totally saturated with sweat, which was even worse because now I've got to unpack that at the end of the day. Ugh, it's going to be gross. So I've just opted to remove all the internal layers, which already I can feel is a good decision. So it's still expected to rain today, so I've got the outer layer in the bag ready just in case, but at the same time it's like the rain will cool us down, so certainly not as worried about it today as I was yesterday.
And sustainability for this sport, and it's something that I really have a great passion for. Going through a bloke's gate or pushing a gate down, or you see it all the time, and I see it on Facebook where blokes go, oh, it's public land. Well, it may or may not be public land. It's not up to you to decide, actually. Our sport, we get more closed down than we get opened up, and we need to try and reduce that. Anyone that follows me, you'll see I wave to everyone I see, just because I think it can't hurt, you know. Bridge to Bridge, years ago we had some dramas in a section where you come out of a forest, which is the Gazette legal road, and the guy said that, but people were speeding through it. There are a lot of areas you'll use where it is private property either side, but the road isn't. So you're not allowed to, but there are somewhere that bought the Gazette too, so it's theirs. So, and you can't really argue it to a point. There's no good getting an argument with a farmer about it, really. The sweep driver came up in the car and said, we've got problems. I'm like, what today? So that farmer slashed his paddock, and I was side of the road. I said, oh, what have we done to him? He said, oh, he's not happy. I said, why? He said, because he's got about 100 metres slashed. And I said, well, what happened? He said, 84 motorbikes stopped to talk to him. He got nothing done all day. You know, we really push the point on our rides. We on our 2-day rides where we put a flag up. Just want you to roll out. If there's a house, just roll out of it for a bit. None of it's a race at any point in time, and that'll help sustain what we do.
imagine, isn't it? Top of the hill. That winery up there in the hill, it's one of my favourites. The view there is stunning. We have the first of our dirt for the day. Still a little bit muddy. Whoa. Still a little bit muddy, yes. Outside peg. So last night I was chatting to Max, who's the son of Steve, who owns Adventure Moto in Girral, and he was saying that one of his big sort of lessons from yesterday, big pickups, was that leaning on the outside peg, and that of course was the same for me. That was a big game changer yesterday. I knew it in theory, but you know, really got to, with this slippery surface, put it into practice. So whether you're sitting on the bike or you're standing up, just leaning on that outside peg or the higher peg, just means you can kind of be a bit more aggressive. Wow, cool as that. Rain.
From Cessnock we head southwest towards Laguna.
Pulling the Wallaby.
Luggage setup is an essential part of adventure riding, and I spotted Ron's setup.
That's a good idea, putting it on the inside.
Because I made the racks.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
So just made it out a bit wider and...
Well, I made it the same size as the other one.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I hate those offset racks.
Yes.
I hate them. So I made it like that.
Symmetrical.
And I looked at it and thought, geez, I could fit a radar pack in there. So that's
Nice.
good.
So it's serendipitous.
The only thing I've got to do is I've got to totally unscrew the mount,
Oh, okay.
the retainer,
Yep.
instead of just turning it quarter of a turn
Yep.
and popping it off, because there's not quite enough room to do that.
Yeah, right.
So it takes an extra 20 seconds to get it off. You've
But-
already stopped because you run out of fuel.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, like, you got a big tank anyway, so it's not like you're going to use it.
Good range. I've never used it on myself,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
but not on myself.
The other people, yeah. How do you find the Garmin?
That is fantastic.
Well, you got both, obviously, but...
Oh, that's the InReach.
Yep. Do you like that?
I just sent a message to my wife to say I'm okay.
Yeah.
She worries about me.
Yes.
So about every half hour I just send a message saying I'm okay.
Yeah.
Do is that, and I do it while I'm going. So she just got a message.
Oh, okay, nice. Right.
You can get them built into this now.
Right, okay, yeah. Yep.
You see Greg mentioned something about me pushing a button on a spot.
Yeah.
So I bought a Spot Connect,
Yes.
and the idea of that was I could send a text message with it.
Right, okay, yep.
And I explained it wasn't me.
Yeah, that's good.
So my wife gets a phone call from the US
Yep.
and said, I've been trying to contact your husband. Would he have pushed the emergency button?
Right.
And she said, if he pushed it for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, we might do something about it then, sort of thing. Like,
Oh, right, yeah.
did not read the text message to her.
Right, okay.
She thought it was me.
Yeah, right.
And it was a real panic. That's what Greg's saying about my wife ringing her in a panic.
Yeah.
But it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
This one, I can send and receive text messages.
Yes.
So if you push the emergency button, they actually text you back.
Yeah, okay.
So say, I've got cancer and my wife worries about me.
Right, okay.
So that's the easy way.
Yeah.
And it's got the shortcut in there. You just press the 2 buttons. I do it while I'm riding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about every half hour I just send her a text.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. I figured that was it. I hate the spot because of what they did.
Yeah, right.
And I bought the right one to stop that from happening, and it still happened.
Causeways seem pretty straightforward, but it's what's underneath that can cause the issues. Each can be different, and depending on the situation, they can be easy or they can drop you to the ground like a prize fighter.
Wasn't so bad.
If the water doesn't flow that much, moss grows on the surface of the concrete, and after rain, the water rises, making the hidden landmines hard to spot. Note the green under the surface of this one.
Get some food, coffee.
Storage just before I was crossing. Hey, ran out of storage. Oh, yeah. Last night I said 4 hours. Like 40 minutes this morning. Right, yeah. Must have left it running at one stage. Yeah.
A little tip using GoPros, write the numbers on the batteries and then use them in order, so then you know which ones are flat and which ones are ready to use. We have a masterclass on motorcycle videos in development at the moment, so if you're interested, we're taking expressions of interest now.
Always forget to put my goggles on. When I first took off from home, I did that and they flew off and landed on the ground. That was the first 30 seconds of riding. Undoubtedly we're going to see some rain this afternoon, but I have to admit, far happier being a little bit wet from the rain because it's not constant, it's not there the whole time, it's only little bits. Sorry Ron, I did not expect you to be there, buddy. My bad, I wasn't watching my mirrors.
We're riding Murray's Run Road, which follows the Wallenby Brook. We're usually just to the west of here riding our road bikes down George Downs Road.
Stay to the left, stay to the left. We keep left.
This is an easy road and the morning hasn't been too challenging. However, we're about to regroup because what's ahead is a little more complicated.
Take a couple of out, take them down the other way, maybe in the BMW. The rim is normally something we use every time. But the rim does have plenty of play sections in it. I've got a washout, I've got the rocking sections. I'm going to take them up Bumble Hill and down Red Hill. Okay. But there's a couple of guys I don't want, or they don't want to do that. Yeah. I'm going to get you to take them. Yeah, right. Okay. So you two Tenere gentlemen, you two guys, you and the BMW, you guys can go along with Steve. All right, so that's the plan.
So we're coming towards the end and Greg's just giving us the heads up that this bit that we're going to go down shortly, not this bit, but coming up, is going to be the toughest we've had all weekend. Few have opted out of it. There's a little part of me that's kind of going, maybe I should have done that. But then there's another bigger part of me that says, you know what? If you want adventure, this is adventure. Must admit the bit that I found the most challenging so far has been the last bit coming out of Watagans going down the hill where it was really bumpy. And from what Greg just described, it sounds like it's that times 10. However, most of what Greg has described this weekend has been, I won't say an exaggeration, but certainly prepping you for worst case scenario, let's say that. It hasn't been as bad as the picture he was painting, although you can easily see where it could be. So I think we've also been lucky as well. Like the Causeways, for example, haven't been particularly slippery, probably because we've had rain for a little bit. It's not out of nowhere. This is actually where we were yesterday doing the corner demo. Man, a lot's changed since then. Doesn't seem like that was 24 hours ago. Bit more rain. Correction, a lot more rain. Now I wish I had my bloody thing on, don't I? Here we go. So far so good. Famous last words. Alright, here we go. I think I need to work with the assumption that I'll probably drop it at some stage. Have to admit, slightly apprehensive. Yesterday I would have freaked out for that section. Keep telling myself it's not a big bike, it's just a little bike. Just treat it like a dirt bike. More of a gap. Picking the lines includes avoiding cars. Legs are getting sore. Far out. Oh, Jesus, my legs. All these sort of rules and tricks and so on that I've read or watched, or even the Bills taught me and so on, they're all just theory. And now it's all coming together. That all makes sense. Oh, my legs. Oh my God. How long does this go for? It is pretty amazing. Like, I can totally understand why people spend so much on getting the suspension perfect. And I don't know what's been done to this bike previously, but I get sort of the impression that just because the suspension is so good that something has been done to it. It is just amazing what these things can cop. Oh, thank God. Let's rest a little bit longer. Alright, Max, show us what you got. This is probably the easy bit now. Far out. Oh my God. That is the most terrifying thing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Holy shit. Oh. Oh my God. How am I still upright after that? Cyclist must be running an event, triathlon or something. Full on event. Didn't even know that was a thing. Wow, holy crap. Suddenly my exhaustion feels somewhat underwhelming. Unverified. Oh wow. Meeting up with the other riders again, so that means the hardest part is done. Alright, home now. Looks like we're not quite done yet.
One final bit of off-road for the day. Like an old cop on his last week of retirement, what could possibly go wrong?
Oh, shit. Oh, man. It's the green stuff.
Yeah, I thought you'd do it.
Yeah.
Right on there. Right.
Yeah.
Right. You want to try and ride her out?
Yeah, I might try and back it up a little bit.
I'll move forward to get out of the way.
There we go. And then I'll start her up.
Like that.
The key lesson here was to avoid looking down too much rather than ahead, which would have helped me potentially position the bike better where I wanted it, rather than being in the centre where the rear tyres slipped on the mossy green surface.
Oh, something's bent. Something is broken. Bars. Yeah, something's definitely bent. So close, yet so far. What is it? I think it's the risers that are bent, which would be a good thing if that's the case, because yeah, it looks like it could be the risers that are bent, which will be great if that's the case, because that's easier to fix. What else? Everything else seems to be intact. Camera is still rolling to make sure we captured all of that, of course. Everything else still good. Bags still there. Yep, left, right. So close. Looks like, I've never really looked closely at these risers before, but it looks like it's actually pivoted inside the old handlebar location, which means I can probably fix it just by loosening them off and realigning them.
Once we signed in so that RideADV team could ensure that everyone was accounted for, I loosened the handlebar risers and realigned the bar. However, it didn't entirely fix the problem, and later in the week I'd find that the lower bar support was slightly bent. Nothing a little gentle persuasion wouldn't fix.
I said the most tiring thing is getting this right leg over that pipe.
I'm not sure if that's quite right. I think it's still out.
Turns out I wasn't the only one who dropped it on the last part.
Did you come off on that rocky hill?
Yeah. Oh, did ya? Yeah, I just straightened the risers, but it's not quite there yet.
I don't trust these rocks risers.
Yeah, it was what was on it. Wow. My God, what a weekend. That is exactly what it says in the box. An introduction to adventure riding. Absolutely.
From there I just drifted home, initially along the freeway, but the M1 these days is just too crazy for me, so Old Pack was the way to go. This weekend was a fantastic journey for me, going into it with handfuls of information but little experience on challenging roads. The intro ride was a great way to gain that experience with support and get used to the off-road situations before trying it alone or with friends. Greg and the crew were very welcoming and happy to share experience and knowledge with everyone, as well as finding great places to eat. I either learnt or simply cemented in many techniques on this ride, and I feel like I'm coming out of it with a far greater confidence on how I approach my riding. However, there's always the acknowledgement of what's still to come and what I'm still to learn.